Welcome to Season 2 of Hey Emma, the podcast where a teen girl and her dad discuss the challenges and fundamentals of living a teenage life.
In Season 2, you'll find a plethora of new topics ranging from really serious to really uplifting and overall a really fun time.
So join us as we aspire to help many teens and their parents live a more fulfilling life. It's
Hey Emma. Hey Emma.
Hey Dad.
Today we're going to talk about food and eating habits and things that teens like to eat and what they don't like to eat and
why they don't like to eat.
Exactly. So here we go.
Enjoy.
You know, you sit like that at the dining room table too.
I know. With my legs up.
You can't see it, but she's sitting with her knees up by her chin. So we're going to talk today about eating habits and healthy eating versus unhealthy eating versus what teens like versus what adults want them to eat. So let's start off with, I think today is National Donut Day, isn't it?
I think so, because it was on Google Trends.
That's right. We love Google Trends.
Yes.
We happen to have a donut shop right here in town. It's called Country Donuts, and they have, I think, some of the best donuts that I've probably ever eaten.
Yeah. I think they're the best donuts I've ever eaten, too, because once you eat those, then they're just, you can't go back from them.
Yeah, you're kind of ruined for any other type of future donuts.
Yeah.
And they actually were ranked very highly on a national scale, and then also I think they were just recently ranked #1 donut shop in the state of Illinois.
And it's right across the lake where we live, so that's even better.
Yeah, we can get there in about 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So anyway, donuts being donuts, deep fried, slabs of dough filled with all kinds of yummy goodness.
Yum.
Not good for you though.
Yeah.
So obviously you're not supposed to eat them very often.
Yeah, and we don't eat them very often. We usually just eat them if there's like a special occasion that we have. But even so, we still enjoy them, and I think it's because of all the sugar and all the fat that we enjoy them.
And I think they're very well made. It's not just sugar and fat, because we can get that almost anywhere.
Yeah, because there are some, I know there's this one grocery store that we go to where we tried, I think it was the muffins, and they were so filled with fat that there was the point where they were disgusting. So there is a limit to how much has to be in it, because donuts, even though they have a lot of fat and sugar, they're not like horribly fat and sugar filled. Well,
even so, like you said, I mean, it's a special treat. You don't eat it very often. To eat it daily, obviously, you'd be doing some damage to your body. And it's just not a good idea. Yeah. What about, it kind of falls into the class of desserts. So I know Leah loves to eat dessert after every dinner. And we've been trying to wean her off of that because it's just not good for you to eat dessert every time. Dessert is kind of like a special treat as well. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I do think that it is a special treat, but I think we've gotten so used to having it every day that she just doesn't want to get out of that routine, because I think we've been so used to having ice cream after dinner or something like that. So I think we should have started off where we only had dessert on a special occasion instead of just, instead of having it every day.
Yeah. And she does like her routine, and that's definitely it became part of the routine. Well, what about healthy foods that are quick? Because I know we've been really trying to eat healthier. Mom's been trying to eat healthier. I've been really focusing on eating healthier. We've been really pushing it with your youngest sister, and I'm always nagging you about eating healthier. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts?
There are definitely some foods that are healthier that you could eat that are just as quick as grabbing like a piece of chocolate or some chips, such as maybe not fruit snacks. Fruit snacks, there are certain ones that you could grab that might be healthier than others, but they're still not complete fruits. And
it's mostly gelatin and sugar.
Yeah, but they still have fruit in them. But
some of them don't even have any fruit in them.
Well,
only a few brands. If you look at the box, only a few brands have actual fruit.
It says made with real fruit.
Only a few of them.
Yeah, but I think definitely just fruit itself is really good. If you prepare it maybe over the weekend in little containers, and then it's just really easy. You just grab it out of there and grab it out of the fridge and then eat some, because I think it's really good. It doesn't fill you up as much, and I think that's one of the issues that people don't want to eat it, is because it doesn't fill you up as much as like chips would. But I think it's definitely better, and it's just as quick as grabbing it, because you can eat it anywhere and you could find it anywhere. So
Well, let's talk about a definition of what healthy food is. I think even if you were to look it up online, if you were to Google it, if you look up on, even if you go to the grocery store, there's different definitions of what's considered a healthy food. I think because there is no standard definition of what healthy food is. What does healthy food mean to you?
Well, I think healthy food is just something that benefits your body in some way. But then again, that could still be a whole bunch of different things. So I think it would have to benefit your body in a certain way to a certain extent in order for it to, it should provide more good for you than bad for you. Because you could say that pizza, well, it has tomatoes and cheese, which is the dairy and the vegetables or fruit. But then it also has all that fat, so you can't. It has to benefit you more than it hurts you.
I think that's a really good definition. I'm really surprised that you came up with it. That's good. Because that's really the way I think of it too. Because you can take a look at there's a whole bunch of foods out there that claim to be health foods, and when you actually look at the ingredients list, they really aren't that good for you. And I mean, I know diet soda is kind of a debate. I personally won't drink diet soda. I don't allow that stuff into my body. But regular sodas, as long as it has regular sugars in it, like the Coca-Cola that you can get from Mexico because it has real cane sugar in it instead of all the high fructose sugars in it, that I will drink all day long. No, well, that's wrong. I wouldn't drink it all day long. I drink one. It's how much bad a food is doing to your body versus how much good a food is doing to your body. And it's cumulative. I know, you can eat healthy all week long and then splurge one day, and I don't consider that to be necessarily a bad thing. But,
well, I think if you want to have a healthy lifestyle, that you should keep consistent with the healthy food nonstop, because if you splurge on one day, then you're gonna want to make that a reward or something, and then you'll want to do that more often. You'll think that reward,
right?
Like that you can have that reward more often.
Like I had a really bad day at work, I'm going to splurge. I'm going to cut my diet.
Or if you're doing well for a few days, then you could get into the habit of a few days and then eating bad one day, and that's not good. So.
And I think that right there is a perception that food that is bad for you is a treat, whereas food that's really good for you is somehow a challenge or something that's mentally difficult to do. Whereas I think if we just think about healthy food differently, if we think about healthy food as a treat, as you're doing something really great for your body, to really, you're building your body, you're giving it nutrients, you're giving it the ability to fight off disease, you're giving it all kinds of wonderful things. If you think of it that way and think about dessert as introducing, the potential for breakdown of cells and breakdown of systems, maybe that changes the way we think about what's a treat for your body and what's a dessert and what is necessarily bad. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
No, I do understand what you're trying to say, and I want to know how far or when this started, when we started thinking that the healthy or that the fast food or the junk food was better, or we liked it better than the healthier food. Because I know there was a time when everybody grew with their own crops and stuff, so it was all just healthy food.
But interestingly, at that time too, people lived not nearly as long. They died earlier. Maybe it was because farming was so dangerous, or maybe it was some other things too. But they died of diseases, even though they ate relatively healthy. Though I also still think that bacon was a mainstay of their diet, which isn't necessarily healthy and contributes to heart disease and problems with the arteries. But I don't know. I would prefer to grow my own food. I don't have time to do it. Who does? I
think growing your food would be better, but then also there are some, the fast food now can also impact you in the same way. It could give you heart disease or...
It definitely. If you look at the sodium content of so much of the fast food, as the sodium content, the fat content, the chemicals that they put into the buns and the condiments, you're introducing a heck of a lot of really bad stuff into your body.
Yeah, and with all the preservatives, you think it's gonna be better with all the preservatives, but it's not.
Why would you think that it was better?
Well, because
preservatives are chemicals that bacteria won't even live in.
I know.
Why would you put that in your body if your bacteria won't even live in it?
I know, but it would last. It would make the food last longer, which means you could eat it at any time that you wanted to.
why would you necessarily want to eat food 3 weeks from when it's made? I don't get that.
Because you could.
Just because you can.
If you go to a fast food restaurant and you buy their food and then you leave it sitting out for a month, it'll look exactly the same as when you had first bought it, except it'll be cold.
I've seen YouTube videos where people have done that. I've never actually tried it myself, but I believe it. I mean, those things are really full of preservatives. And my whole thing is if a natural organism like, fungus won't grow on, what do they call those spores? Penicillium spores or whatever. If they won't grow on a bun, why in the world would you put it in your body? It just doesn't make sense. I mean, if a natural organism won't grow on it, why would you put it in your body?
Because it tastes good.
But I don't think the preservatives even taste good.
Well,
and that's the other thing, too, is that a lot of these foods that we are conditioned to think taste good don't. You look at the breads that are full of the preservative. And I'm nagging you, aren't I? It seems like I'm nagging you. But the breads that you guys like to eat, the ones that I call junk bread, are really bad. They're full of preservatives. They don't taste good. They don't taste like bread. They taste like some sort of a neutral substance. When you have really good bread, like when you go and you get a fresh loaf of bread that isn't going to last more than 2 days, there's a difference. You can taste the difference. Yeah,
but like the bread that we use, that is just the junk bread. It's also very quick because it's the pre-sliced packaged bread, so you can it's really easy to make sandwiches out of, and we've conditioned ourselves to like it in sandwiches better than the better bread.
So it's convenience.
Yeah.
And we don't have to go to the store every 2 days to get more fresh bread.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that.
Because it lasts the whole week. So.
What would be some good snacks you guys would want to eat that are better for your body than gelatin and sugar?
Trail mix, in trail mix you could eat like most of you put chocolate in it, you could eat all the chocolate. But I think
which you guys haven't been known to do.
Yeah.
We've gotten trail mix before, and surprisingly, the M&Ms disappear.
Yeah. But I think nuts, because I really like eating like peanuts and cashews and stuff. Those are really good, and I could eat a whole bunch of those. But,
yeah, those are good.
They're really salty, but
it is a high salt and then high fat, but a lot of it is good fat.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of fiber in it, which is good.
But for breakfast, sometimes I would eat just some fruit, which is pretty good. But because it's kind of quick, and when you wake up at 5:30 in the morning to go to school, you don't want food at the time, so you want something that will go down easily or feels cool to your mouth. So I think eating fruit is better than eating something like a piece of bread or something.
Yeah, like a toast or something.
Yeah, like toast or a muffin.
So plant-based, you talk about fruit in the morning, so plant-based diets are very popular. I didn't turn off my phone. Can you believe that? Oh my gosh. So anyway, plant-based diets. Talk about some of the plant-based things. I know the diet idea is really popular right now, just being able to eat things that are grown as opposed to things that are manufactured.
Well, that is the way to go, but still, we need something. We can't just eat things that are strictly plant-based, because I feel like that could also harm our body more than do good for it, because you wouldn't be exposed to any other food, so you wouldn't be getting the proper grain. Because look at the food pyramid. You need the grain, you need the protein, but if you're just vegetarian or fruit-based or vegetable-based, you're not getting exposed to everything you need, so you're still not getting the nutrients that you need.
I think what you're saying is correct. I think the way you said it is maybe a little bit off, because you can get protein, like soybeans, which are plant-based, are very high in protein. So you can still get protein, and all kinds of beans are very high in protein. Black beans, those pinto beans, those are all very high in protein. So you can still get the protein. I think what you're missing is some of the amino acids and things that you can get from like the lean meats and other types of meat. So I think meat's in small quantities. Yeah. I prefer to eat smaller quantities of meat, but I know Mom is a meat and potatoes kind of girl, so she likes steak and lots of steak
and potatoes, tater tots, French fries.
Yep, and I know all you guys like that stuff.
Yeah,
and I like it too, but in moderation, small quantities.
It could a whole bunch of meat be too bad for you? Like if you eat a whole steak, like a whole